And that self-confidence and self-respect, you begin with yourself. Believe in yourself. Empower yourself by your discipline, by your work. But selfishness doesn't get out of the ego. It doesn't get out of the egocentric predicament. So that when you empower yourself to serve others, you're no longer selfish. When you're respecting yourself to serve others, you're no longer selfish. But you do have to dwell on that self in order to be strong enough to help others. But if you're helping yourself and not helping others, you're still too narrow. Still too selfish. Now, some people might say, well, you're being selfish because you're self-confident. No, don't confuse my confidence with arrogance. I don't believe in arrogance or being condescending to anybody. I believe in being confident. So others may misunderstand you sometimes. You're working hard. That's selfish. No, I am being disciplined so I can hone my skills and be the best that I can be to help others. You heard Brother Shavar say, come back to community. You're using what you have to give to others. So that distinction is a very, very important one because there's so much selfishness and egoism and egotism that is out there. It's not just in Newark, it's in every city, in every country, in every civilization that we know. But our culture more and more in the last 40 years has tended to put a premium not just on selfishness but on outright greed. Give me. Can't get enough. Money, pleasure, power. That's what I call spiritual malnutrition. That's emptiness of the soul. And so that issue of holding the selfishness at arm's length, but being committed to self, how do you put it, empowerment. You know we could have a seminar on that question. It's a very powerful question. Very much so. I appreciate that. Yes, my dear sister. But then we can be better than that.
Do you believe that the effects of slavery are still continuing to influence the life of Black leadership that we have?
Of Black leadership? Well, I think it affects all Black people to some degree. For 244 years of trying to convince Black people that we should hate ourselves, that we're less beautiful, we're less moral, we're less intelligent. White supremacy. White supremacy is alive, but it is still alive. And it's alive in the hearts of too many Black people who believe that about themselves. It's alive in too many hearts of white brothers and sisters. And they say, well, Obama, if elected, is post-racial. No. Because you vote for a man based on qualification, post-pigmentation, that makes you post-racial. That means you're just doing your duty as a democratic citizen. America's less racist than it was 30 years ago. It's not post-racial. White supremacy is still alive. And if that's so, it's linked in part to 244 years of white supremacy and slavery. And then through that, of course, the important thing in some ways, and I know y'all deal with this in the history course, is that Black people in America, the only people who achieved citizenship status, which we did right after the Civil War, 180,000 Black troops joining the Union troops to help break the back of white supremacy slavery. Confederacy. Citizen overnight, and here comes Jim Crow. Subject again. Didn't happen in Jamaica, didn't happen in Barbados, didn't happen in Brazil. They had slavery there, it was ugly. They never had Jim Crow. And Jim Crow was what? American terrorism, lynching, strange fruit the southern trees bear. Billie Holiday singing, the Jewish brother Maripol writing the lyric, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. It was America for 90 years, trying to do what? Intimidate Black people again. That's where Nigger comes from, right? We want to niggerize these people. What is it to niggerize the people? Convince them they're ugly, convince them they can't think, convince them that they have no potential. This academy is into what? De-niggerizing young Black people. Y'all understand that term? To be de-niggerized. Give up on all these stereotypes. You don't think, you're not beautiful, and so forth and so on. Look yourself in the mirror and say, Get out of the way. Kate Winslet. You ain't the only one beautiful. Catherine Zeta-Jones, you ain't the only one girl. Tom Cruise, get out of the way. You're not putting them down. Don't put other people down to elevate yourself. See, beauty comes in a lot of different forms. Intelligence comes in a lot of different forms. Character comes in a lot of different forms. I am deniggerized at the academy. I stand tall as a human being. I learned Spanish from my Spanish teacher. Give your Spanish teacher a hand. Learned French from my French teacher. She did.
Yes, you
I'm acting in my possibility. And I'm doing it in a humble manner because always keep in mind, back to Hamando, humility is the benchmark of maturity. People have to put other people down. It means they're insecure. It means they're spiritually underdeveloped. They haven't fully grown up yet. They have to put people down everywhere they go. I'm speaking too long, sometimes too loud. The brother had a question right here. You got the microphone on your head.
My name is Umar. I'm an 11th grader in Newark, Collegiate. And my question was, do you think that blacks in America will ever have self-courage and be self-confident like blacks in Africa?
Well, it depends on which black folk in America and which black folk in Africa. Because I tell you, I come to the academy and look at y'all. I see highly self-confident folk. I can go to school. I lived in Ethiopia for 16 years. That's where I get this conflict from. Mercado, not a Sababa in Ethiopia. I was married to a magnificent Ethiopian sister. I go to the academy there. I'm self-confident. I can go on the other side of town to Newark. A lot of young brothers and sisters just as precious as you, but they need the self-confidence you have. I can go to the other side of Addis Ababa. They need some self-confidence too. So it's hard, my dear brother, to make a generalization. It depends on which particular one you have in mind. See what I mean? And that's very important. That's very important. This is something, too, I think that the older generation needs to be cognizant of. A lot of times, older people are critical of young people because we tend, when we see young people, we tend to accent the worst. Whereas when we look at the past, we accent the best. So you look in the past and see Martin Luther King Jr., Fannie Lou Hamer. No. Everybody wasn't Martin. At all. Go to the parties on Friday night. Look at that sister, shake that thing. Everybody can't be Martin Luther King. Everybody was Martin Luther King. You had a lot of gangsters out there. Martin had the 87 churches in Montgomery. Only 12 supported Martin Luther King Jr. It was not like everybody was with Martin. No. You had cowards. A lot of cowards back then. There's worse in the past. There's best in the past. People look at hip-hop these days. Oh, that's Soulja Boy. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. What about Talib Kweli? What about Rodriguez? What about Lupe Fiasco? Different than Soulja Boy. I love all of them. But they're different. Lupe represents something more sophisticated than Soulja Boy. Now, Lil Wayne, he's complicated. That little Negro's complicated. When I saw Lil Wayne, I just gave that brother a hug. I said, you got all these tattoos and this stuff in your teeth. Drinking too much syrup. He's a talented brother. He's a talented brother. And he can change. He can change. But will Lil Wayne represent young people of his generation? Oh, he is part of that generation. Do you all represent all of your generation? I wish you did. I wish you did. But you're going to be the best, right? Is that right? The academy gonna be the